Alright guys, we're actually gonna be watching something scary, and trust me, do not watch this before bed, because I do it too, but it just fucks with your head. It just messes up your head. You're just gonna get nightmares. There, I just basically said it, right? So other than that, we're gonna be watching True Craigslist Horror Stories 2 animated by Llama Arts, and yeah. Let's just see what's this. True Craigslist Stories.
This story took place a long time ago, back in 2002,
Yeah, what
when
are these
Craigslist
graphics?
was in its early
Okay,
years. Many wouldn't know, but back in those days, Craigslist was a lot different. It was a lot more so an online garage sale, or just a place where people would list old things that still had some value that they were willing to give away. I got a basketball hoop, a hockey net, and a spoiler
just
for my
checking.
car, all free in perfect condition in that same year. You'd be lucky if you found something like that these days. Anyway, me and my son were dying to buy a hockey net so we could practice in the cul-de-sac we lived in.
Alright, let me just check my room just in case there's no sicko. Alright, we're good.
For the record, this was before I got that free one I mentioned.
Oh, his kids with him too.
Wouldn't you know it, on Craigslist there was an ad for a slightly used regulation-size hockey goal for only $50.
$50,
It came
yo.
with a puck and 2 slightly used
Okay.
hockey sticks. I still have a picture of that ad to this day. It seemed like the perfect deal, but he lived about 2 hours away.
No, don't do
I
it,
called
yo.
the number he had listed, and he sounded pretty normal on the phone. He had a pretty deep, dark voice, but nothing that would be off-putting.
Anyone who has a deep dark voice is up to no good.
I remember his voice being a bit emotionless. He agreed to meet halfway due to the distance, said he'd put the stuff in the back of his pickup truck. He said he could only come after he got off from work, though,
kid's
which
so
was much
excited.
later in the day, way past dark. We agreed to meet at some rest stop off the highway. Me and my son, who was 11 at the time, took my wife's minivan,
Of course it's
the only
raining.
car that would be able to fit that huge thing. Within an hour, we were at the truck stop, which was empty at this hour, but was decently lit by 3 big light posts. I parked right under one of the lights and waited.
That's sketchy as
A
fuck,
pickup
yo.
truck pulled in off the highway right on time. He
That's the
stopped right in front of me.
sketchiest shit I've ever
I
seen.
went over to his window, but then noticed there was nothing in the back of his truck. "You Steve?" he asked me. "Yep, that's me," I said. "Alright, my buddy's bringing in the stuff with his truck." The guy pulled up behind my car and put it in park. I suddenly had a bad feeling.
Yeah.
I told my son to get back in the car and lock every door except mine.
Yeah,
2
just
more
drive
pairs
away,
of
yo.
headlights came off the highway into the lots. Surely enough, pulling up next to me.
Oh,
And
okay,
not
yo.
surprisingly at this point, there was no hockey.
Bro, there's no hockey goal. Get in the car. Drive the fuck away. They're gonna kidnap you and your kid. Yo, just run.
equipment in either one of them.
Nah, just run.
My heart was racing. I was worried.
Yeah.
Not for me, but for my young son who I for some reason brought with me on this trip. A group of large men mixed with heavy-set and muscular physiques stepped out of the 2 pickup trucks behind the first one. They eyed me from head to toe, giving that typical intimidation stare down.
What the fuck?
Then this bald guy wearing sunglasses said in a deep voice, "Where's the money?" I instantly pulled out my wallet and handed it to him, begging him to just let me and my son go. He pulled out like $100 and was pissed, expecting more. He then sent 2 of his goons or whatever to get my son. At this point I screamed and begged for him not to take him. One of the men broke the glass to the minivan back door, and I vividly remember the disturbing, heartbreaking screams of my young son. What happened next was what I can only explain to be a miracle from God.
Yo. Why do you trust people these days? You don't see the guy with the golf? Or the fuck, I meant hockey net? You don't see with the other 2 cars. Yo, just run. Like, what else are you supposed to do? Wait longer? Yo, you see 5 men? Nah, yo.
Answering my prayers. A car was entering the lot from off the highway.
Yes.
All the men stopped and turned to look at it.
Thank you.
As it got closer, my heart literally dropped in excitement as I saw it was a police car. The
Oh!
light suddenly began to flash as he got close enough to see what was going on. All of the men were back in their trucks within seconds, speeding off down the highway. Well, at least 2 of them. The truck in the back was caught immediately by the police car, and backup arrived shortly. I explained everything to them, and they got the men that were caught to rat out on the others surprisingly quickly. I guess luckily the guys in the back truck weren't
the
very
Mohawk
loyal
boy.
to whoever their leader was,
Yo, that guy looks like he's wearing one of those kitchen tools.
if they even had any type of leader. Believe it or not, I had a police escort all the way home to make me and my son feel safer.
Good police.
I don't want to get into all the legal stuff, but I'll just say that all of those men except for one was caught, and I'm pretty sure that was the driver of the first pickup truck. Needless to say, my Craigslist days weren't over at that point, but I've always been much more protective of my son and much more cautious
Yeah,
of
bro.
Craigslist meetings since then.
Honestly. Like, yo, I don't get it. Why would you why at night when it's raining on the highway? Sketchy shit, yo. And bro, right when you're I can't even explain. Honestly, yo, this was a scary, like, if I was in this situation, bro, I'd shit myself. Like, what is the help gonna, where are you gonna be helped? That was just a miracle from God, bro. That was just a miracle. So, that was the first video. Alright, this is the second one. I'm gonna watch, it's Hide and Seek. Hide and Seek stories animated by Lamar's. Yo, just the title makes me, I don't know, paranoid. Hide and seek. Oh, all right, here we go.
When I was a kid, my parents would sometimes bring me down to my aunt and uncle's place to stay for the weekend. Mainly, I'd spend time playing with my 2 cousins who were around the same age as me.
Just the music,
They
bro.
lived on a small farm with plenty
Bro, just the music in the background gets you the chills.
of open space, and we could run around doing pretty much whatever we wanted. If we thought we could get away
Sorry
with
if
it,
I'm pausing,
the 3 of
guys.
us would sometimes cross over to the neighboring farm about half a mile away.
Yo, these kids
It
look
had been
gullible.
abandoned for decades, with a scattering of derelict buildings and other structures still standing on the property, just begging to be explored. This was of course a gold mine for 3 adventurous young boys such as
Yo, I'm gonna just name it off. That's Kevin, that's Kyle, and that's David.
ourselves. Especially after my
Oh,
cousins
David.
told me stories about the deaths that took
That's what I'm
place
gonna
in the
name 'em.
house. It was pretty classic
You-
fare. Man goes crazy, axe murders his entire family, hangs himself, returns every night as an angry spirit looking for new victims.
Where did this
Good,
come from,
grisly
yo?
stuff.
It was just 3 kids walking and now okay.
Even
what
at
the
that
fuck?
age, I knew they were probably making it up, or at least embellishing old rumors.
No, David's
But
not making
seeing
it
as how
up,
the
Kyle.
setting lent itself so well to such tales, I
Kevin.
allowed myself to buy into it. One afternoon, we decided to play hide and seek.
Yo.
When it was my turn to hide, I ran off for a flimsy brown barn
just
that
not
had living
buying,
quarters
yo.
on top, and climbed the stairs looking for a good spot. There was still furniture inside.
Yo,
and personal
David warned you,
belongings
he's
lay
just not
scattered
buying
across the
it.
floor. I
Yo.
maneuvered over broken dishes, tattered clothes, and crumbling books,
There's a
eventually coming to a small
sword.
room with a closet. Jackpot. There were even long black dresses still hanging on the rod that I could hide behind. I stepped inside and managed to force shut the folding door.
Okay, not to be racist, but like, why is it that white people love to just investigate? They just love to like learn, like see what's gonna happen. You guys got balls, honestly, balls.
My only illumination was a slit of sunlight that shone through the crack in the door from a nearby window. I crouched down with knees tucked into chest and waited.
Kevin, you're not gonna be so happy.
Some time passed and there was still no sign of my seekers. I waited some more, debating if and when I should give myself up. After nearly
out.
an hour, this was starting to get... My head
An
tapped.
hour, bro. Kevin, why'd you wait in a clock? An hour, yo. I can't even last 5 minutes or 10, bro. An hour, yo. This kid's desperate to win.
I woke with a jerk. It was pitch black.
Slept.
Drowsy and confused, I forgot for a minute where I was or what I had been doing. As it came back to me, the realization that it was now
Kevin,
nighttime
why?
and that I had been abandoned here filled me with sinking dread in the pit of my stomach.
Yeah.
I tried to get up, but a sudden cramp in my calf kept me grounded.
What the fuck was
I
that?
squirmed about, waiting for it to pass, when I heard a door slamming shut downstairs. And
Yo, look at that doll!
instantly froze.
That's scary.
One of my cousins?
That's pretty creepy.
There was a brief period of silence, then footsteps at the bottom of the stairs. But not just footsteps, a thud too.
Oh, here comes
After
the guy.
every other step,
Here's the guy David
these
warned you
weren't the
about.
footfalls of a child. They were slow, heavy, deliberate. I held
Alright, hold on. Yo, I'm just like a safe person. I like to double check, right?
my breath, praying they would go away. They did not. The noises continued to ascend. After another moment of silence, the walking resumed, this time along with a steady scraping sound, like something heavy being dragged.
Oh, buddy, get out of there! That's blood! Kevin, this is why you don't do stupid shit with your friends.
Across the floorboards.
Bro,
The
that's...
footsteps made their way
fucked
through the
up.
debris and wandered aimlessly through the various
Yo, I
rooms.
swear that's messed
I
up.
thought I could smell something faintly putrid. The constant scrape sent cold shivers coursing down my arms and back. My worst fears were realized when the steps reached the bedroom doorway. They got closer and closer, and finally stopped directly in front of the closet door.
How does he know he's in there?
I couldn't see a thing. After an agonizing pause, they continued on, over to the other side of the room and out the doorway again.
Buddy, you're no.
They faded away down the hallway. I waited for what seemed like an eternity. There were no more sounds now, and I was trying to build up enough courage to open the door and flee. 3 things happened simultaneously just then. I was bombarded with a smell I can only describe as fresh roadkill.
Yo, that's not fresh. That's fresh human kill. I might tell you that, buddy.
I heard raspy breathing behind me in the dark closet, and I felt hot
Bro,
breath
what the
against the
fuck's
nape
this
of my
music?
neck. That was enough for me to hurtle myself out from the confines of that nightmare space,
Yeah.
relying on memory and scant moonlight to
blood.
navigate through the darkened house. All the while, I heard footsteps chasing behind me, closing in with terrifying speed.
Yo!
It was
Oh
a clumsy,
my!
torturous escape full of trips and bumps and blind stumbling. I never looked back, at least not until I had burst out the front door and into the country night. And when I did turn around, I saw absolutely nothing. There were no more footsteps and nobody was chasing me. That didn't stop me from running though, all the way back to my aunt and uncle's house. There was a police car in the driveway when I got back. My parents were there too, worried sick. Everybody demanded to know where I had been.
See, like, David, Kyle, learn not to go into abandoned barns.
Apparently, when
That's
my cousins
fucked.
still hadn't found me by evening, they'd returned home to tell their parents. The police were called in and informed me that they had already scoured every building on the farm. The insinuation that I was lying about my whereabouts didn't go unnoticed. None of it made any sense. It wasn't until years later that one of my cousins filled in a final piece of the story. He and his brothers had spent hours searching for me like they said, but the part they didn't tell anyone was that they thought they spotted me in the window of the bedroom I was hiding in.
What?
And when they got closer, they saw that it wasn't me. A young boy neither of them recognized was smiling and waving to come upstairs.
Yo. Oh.
That's when they ran back home. All of
And
this
you left him
while
in
I
there?
slept in the closet.
So, anyways, thank you for watching that video, guys. Don't forget to share my content, like, comment, and of course, subscribe.